Welcome to iLecture Online. So now let's try a real example. We're trying to find the derivative dy dx of the polar function r equals 1 plus the sine of theta. Well, first you may say, well, how do we even find the dy dx when there's no y and x in the equation? But then we remember that we have a relationship between the Cartesian coordinate system and the polar coordinate system, where x is defined as r cosine theta and y is defined as r sine theta. And just like in the previous video, we found that therefore dy dx can be defined according to this equation right here. So what we need to do then is replace every r in here by the function that we have here, and then we have to find dr d theta for the numerator and denominator as well. So let's find dr d theta first. So when we do that, we get dr d theta is equal to the derivative of this with respect to theta. The derivative of 1 is 0, and the derivative of the sine is equal to the cosine of theta. So now we can go ahead and plug that into our equation. So dy dx now is equal to the function r, which is defined right here. So that would be 1 plus the sine of theta multiplied times the cosine of theta plus dr d theta, which is the cosine of theta times the sine of theta. And in the denominator, we get minus r. So we get minus 1 plus the sine of theta times the sine of theta. And then plus dr d theta, which is the cosine of theta times the cosine of theta. So that would then be the derivative dy dx in terms of the angle theta only. What we need to do now is probably clean that up a little bit. There's a few techniques we can use, so let's try that. So this is equal to, multiplying this through, we get the cosine of theta plus the sine times the cosine plus the sine times the cosine, which is twice the sine times the cosine in the numerator. Oop, forgot the theta there. Divided by, in the denominator, when we multiply this out, we get minus the sine of theta minus the sine of theta squared and plus the cosine square of theta. Wow, too bad this isn't a positive, because then we can just turn this into a 1. But what we could do in the denominator to make things maybe a little bit simpler, in the denominator we're going to add a sine square of theta plus sine square of theta, and then subtract the sine square of theta. So we're just doing that in the denominator. Why do we do that? Because then this here can be equal to 1, and then we can just simply add these two together. So we end up with, in the numerator, the cosine of theta plus 2 times the sine of theta times the cosine of theta, and in the denominator we end up with a 1 minus the sine of theta, and then minus 2 times the sine square of theta. And the denominator is now factorable. So we can now write this as the cosine of theta plus 2 times the sine of theta times the cosine of theta. And in the denominator, we can write, let's see here, how about 1 minus, how about 1 plus the sine of theta multiplied times 1 minus 2 times the sine of theta. Let's see if that works out. So the last term we get minus 2 sine square theta, that's correct. Multiply this minus 2 plus 1, that's minus sine of theta plus 1, that looks correct. So in the end we get dy dx, which can be represented like this only in terms of the angle theta. And that's one way in which we can find the derivative dy dx. Of course, you can find different forms of the final answer, but this is a perfectly fine way to do it. That's how we do that.